So, hi everyone. Tonight is not a right or wrong. Tonight is a options conversation. I don't want anyone to think that there's one way to, as they say, skin a cat. I want this to be your way of really locking in and thinking about options or plans based on what is happening in this country. And my decision is not your decision. Likewise, your decision is not my decision. And neither one is right and neither one is wrong. And that's exactly how I wanted to start off this conversation before we get into the details or the checklist, the 10 questions that we need to ask ourselves before we decide if we are going to stay and put up the dukes, because that is what's going to have to happen, or if we're going to flee for whatever reasons you come up with. And so, thank you everyone for tuning in. I am Kim, aka Kim with the Gems, and this channel since November of 2024 has exclusively been about us staying ready so we don't have to get ready. And I refuse to continue to go over the manic news that keeps happening and happening and happening. There are so many choices for you to tune into to find the news that aligns with your energy, your chi. It's a lot. It's a whole lot. And it's designed to incite, to create anxiety, to cause depression. And that's not going to do us any good. The only thing that's going to do us any good is strategy and taking action. And so tonight, that's what we're going to talk about. Hey, Shalonda, I see you're in the building and you are out of here, girl. I hear you. Exactly. Whenever you're able, if that is what your energy is telling you, if that's what is aligning with who you are and your spirit, God bless you. And I absolutely, as someone who is not necessarily on the fence as to what I plan to do, it's the length of time that I plan to do it. Like, is fleeing, and fleeing is not a negative word, right? Fleeing is just, I'm out of here, right? Is fleeing going to be a finality, or is it going to be, okay, until things get a little bit better, whenever that may be? So again, there's no right, there's no wrong. It's all about our decisions and what makes sense for us. Hey, our choice Hauling, good to see you. So yeah, so let's just go ahead and get into it. I truly believe that preparation is key, and the first way to prepare is to literally start asking yourself questions and what makes sense for you, because some of us are really confused. What should I do? When should I do it? How should I do it? If I should do anything. And as I mentioned, this channel is about strategy and action. And so we have to get out of the what, who, when, where, why, focus on the how, the strategy, and the action, the doing. And so if you are in here, I ask you to go ahead and hit that like button. If you are watching on the television on the big screen, you use your remote, hit the volume. If you are watching on the back end, I ask that you do the same. You can also become part of the Gym Nation family just by hitting the subscribe button. That is all it takes. There's other areas that you can join our communities, but for the sake of just being part of the family, hit that like button. And I appreciate it in advance. And if you're watching on the back end, I always say speed this bad boy up. Try to keep it on at least 1.5 speed. You'll get through it quicker, right? Our time is precious. Hey, seriously, 433. I almost did a test. I almost emailed you today to do that test, but I have been running since I have been out of town and I didn't want to hold up your time. So Hey, LJ, what's up? Hola, buenos noches, y familia de flores, y familia de gimnasiones, y familia de maga, y familia de rain. Hey, Deborah. Deborah, good to see you. Good evening. And listen, I ain't even gonna lie, child. Tonight is I'm a NBA basketball fan. And so, it's the conference finals. Western Conference is tonight. I'm going to be here, as long as I don't miss second half, I'm good. But it's Knicks all day, every day. And yesterday's game was insane. So anyway, let me go ahead and I just really want to pull up the checklist. And I'm going to put each of the questions in the chat so that you can either take notes or follow along because I know everybody's not into downloading, but I am going to put the information in the chat to make it easier, and hopefully I am not freezing. So the first thing we want to do is, and let me, kind of set the stage if you're new here, because some of you have not really been, part of the family for a long time. But part of the strategy of this channel has literally been to talk about options, right? So if it was options on teaching abroad, brought in a guest speaker who has taught in 5 countries, including the United States, English as a second language. And she provided amazing tips and strategies on how to do that. And so much so that I think one of the things that people forget, and I need to repost this clip, if you have if you are a teacher in the US currently, right, and you have your certifications, your license, whatever, you do not have to get another certification and or license to teach abroad. So if you currently have that, and if you're interested in fleeing, that may be an option for you. So I wanted to call that out, but there are so many other ways that, are designed for us to move abroad without getting another passport in another country or another citizenship or any of that. So this channel has literally been dedicated since November to start preparing for what's going on today. And we see every day the news is showing us something different, but the one thing that's constant is what the hell they think about us and what they want for us, right? And it can be a daunting task, right? You're thinking about all the injustices that are happening, and then you're thinking about family, and then you're thinking about finances. It's a lot. And I get it. And not everyone has the ease or is able to easily pack up and leave, even if that's what they wanted to, right? From most of us being in a sandwich generation, from children to aging parents to grandchildren, like all of those things play a part. But we're going to dive into those dilemmas by asking these questions and what comes up as most important to you. And sometimes, child, sometimes you gotta put on your oxygen mask first. If it comes to that point, if you feel yourself drowning or stifling, the first thing you want to do is do a gauge on your energy, right? And like I said, I'm putting these things in the chat so you can take notes or you can come back and review later. But this is the main question you need to ask yourself when it comes to energy. And I am all about energy. The first thing I did when I got here was I went to the ocean and I grounded. And it is so necessary, right? For me. So the one thing you need to ask yourself, the main question when it comes to your energy gauge is, do I currently have the emotional, mental, and physical bandwidth to keep fighting systematic issues here, or are you running on E? I'm all about bandwidth. I say it all the time. Like when people tell me things that I think are like just frivolous nonsense, my response is like my brain capacity, my brain bandwidth cannot absorb that foolishness. It can't. Like I'm at full capacity. And so it's the same thing when it comes to deciding if you're going to stay here and duke it out, or if you're going to, find a way to exit stage left. So this is super critical because when it comes to running on E, if you are running on E, what's next? Burnout, depression, all of those things. And for anyone who has studied activists from the civil rights area, many of them have gone through the landing or not land operating on an empty tank and going through depression and going through burnout. It's actually they're actually when you become that activist, you're actually taking on all of that energy from the microaggressions of people that don't think you're human, don't think you should have any rights except to serve them, facing that every day, getting arrested in the streets. Like all of these things could very well be part of a not too distant future. So it's up to you to are you built for that? Not everybody is, and that's okay. But there are a lot of people that are. So again, sometimes though, we really have to be honest with ourselves, and we could sit here and talk about how, they could never do that to, they could never do what they did to our ancestors to us because we're built different. Let me tell you about stacking odds. And I've always talked on this channel about stacking odds in your favor. They've been doing this for a very long time. The numbers are on their side. They have divided and conquered us in a way that makes me sad when I talk to people, skin folk that look like us, and how divided we are. So, again, you have to really ask yourself, can you stay here? And I'm not even giving the other option. Like, there's no option to stay here and not do nothing. Like, you're gonna have to pick a side. You're gonna fight or you're gonna flee. Those are your only two options, right? If you plan to stay around. So, again, just understanding that you have to gauge your energy levels. Number two, there's a whole safety and well-being factor. Hold on. There we go. I just put that in the chat. And if you just joined, I'll say hi in a second. I see someone just came in. Let me see. Hey Anak, excuse me. Hey Akana, good to see you. How are you? Welcome, welcome tonight. Um, so yeah, so understanding safety and well-being as it relates to you and your loved ones is critical. And I should put the questions in as well. So I'll do that. Let me put the question for number the safety and well-being, and then I'll come back to the question for your energy gauge. So, question that you need to ask yourself is, does your current environment pose a direct threat to your mental health, physical safety, and the well-being of your family? There are a lot of us that moved on up to the east side, right? Because we became financially independent, or not financially independent. We started to garner more discretionary income. We became more of an elite class, and we left, you know, our communities behind. But now you're in these communities that really aren't accepting. If they have to pick a side, the side is not going to be you. And if you have children, what's that safety looking like? Do you feel comfortable with your children leaving the house every day to go to school, to go play sports? The news stories that I'm hearing about the attacks on our children, disgusting. I don't want to get to this is all about the 10 steps. So let me just keep going. Do you feel safe going to the doctor? Do you feel safe that the doctor that you may or the specialist that you may get have to go see will do no harm to you? That's interesting. That is interesting. That is so interesting when I just froze. Anyway, maybe I froze before then, but I just saw myself freeze when I said that. But again, so does your current environment pose a direct threat to your mental health, physical safety, or the well-being of family? So again, once you answer, you put that oxygen mask on first. Once you answer the questions related to you, what does it mean for your family? If you have aging parents that are going to have to rely more on the hospital system here, which not only are the prices going up, the quality is going down. Are you okay with that? So again, extra not safe, girl. Listen, I know. So at the end of the day, there should be never be a movement that should require you to permanently sacrifice your safety and or sanity. Just another and LJ is in here. LJ was part of the Move and Medical Abroad workshop that we did. Again, everything that has been created on this channel, many of them, everything's still, live on the channel. Please go back, find, um, and use if necessary, because we should have truly been strategizing a long time ago. But if you haven't, please don't just sit twiddling your thumbs. Truly, now, if the writing wasn't on the wall, if you didn't believe the words that were coming out of my mouth before, the writing is definitely in blaring neon signs on the wall. And if you're not paying attention, it's because you don't want to. And if you're not planning, it's because you don't want to. Or there could be some fear there. So I don't want to completely not, not be empathetic for that to that, because it's a lot. It's so much. It's so much going on. And trust me, they understand how to design chaos so that we are so confused that we just sit there not knowing what to do. Let's move on to number 3. It's time to assess impact. Where can you make the most impact, right? Where do you realistically feel that your talent, skill, and voice will make the biggest impact by resisting a broken system here? Excuse me, make the biggest impact. Is it by resisting a broken system here, or by creating a fresh, equitable ecosystem abroad? Now, that's only something you can answer, right? This is not me saying what you should do, but I do want you to know that there are people thriving doing just that, creating a fresh, equitable ecosystem abroad. And I want that for all of us if that's what you want. Now, again, some of us are, freedom fighters until the end. It's in our DNA. And if that's you, God bless you. And we'll talk more about what you should be doing through, these 10 questions as well. But if that's not you, and peace is what you seek outside in community, where you may have some things, and we're going to get, no place is safe from all the isms, right? But there's some more safe than others. Give me one second, y'all. Yeah, it was hot today here, so I'm a little dehydrated. So again, I'm going to add the question. You can, again, these are notes that you can take later, screenshot, whatever, but we're going to get into number 4. And let's see who else is here. Sorry, y'all. Uh-oh. Oh, some of y'all. Okay, okay. Y'all in the building. Hey, luxury bucket list. Good to see you. We're similar age. We remember how it used to be. We were awesome before. This is true. Listen, we're still awesome, right? We have to know it. We absolutely have to know it. They had three plans before we were born, and it has worked. Three plans or these plans? Oh, okay. I see. Okay. Got it. Got it. Got it. I don't know what nope is for. Extra, not safe. Hey, out of the shell. Good to see you. Hola, como está? Oh, hey, Audrey. And in the sky. This is a hey, hey, hey. Good to see you. Y'all be changing names and stuff. I can't keep up. But thanks for letting me know. Okay, so let's get to number four. So number four, you know, all no romance without finance. There's no fleeing and or fighting without finance. So what does that look like? What does your financial and logistical readiness, preparedness look like? Anyone that knows this channel knows that back in 2021, I started talking about the importance of us building our assets, our finances, not knowing that this would be where we would be, 5 years later, but someone did, right? And then going into making sure that we are not only, reliant on a job, making sure that we are not only reliant on one type of income. I did a whole video on the and I have more than 18. Let's just be clear. I didn't even talk about I'm here like dealing with tenants and rentals and all of that stuff. And I didn't talk about probably at least 7 to 10 other streams of income. Oh, they're not all active at the same time, but they can be, whenever I activate them. And so again, I did a whole video within the past couple of weeks about my 18 streams of income for no other reason than to let you know that, yeah, people say 7 streams of income is how you stay protected. Yeah, it's more than that for black people. It's more than that in this day and age, and it's damn sure more than that for black women. Okay? And so let's go ahead and go into the question you need to ask yourself when it comes to the financial and logistical readiness. And just understanding that when if you think you're going to flee without a solid logistical plan, you're talking about high stress. You're talking about putting yourself in vulnerable situations. It's just not there's certain things where I'm like, we used to call it sell and repent, right? You do something and then if something comes back to bite you, you deal with it later. Not when it comes to moving abroad. I don't subscribe to that, nor would I encourage that. So let's go ahead and ask yourself. This is the main question you need to ask yourself when it comes to finance, logistics, and readiness. Do you have the financial runway, transferable skills, or career flexibility required to successfully relocate and thrive in a foreign country? That's just the baseline. That's the basic before you can even think about relocating to another country. What are your what assets do you have? What financial runway do you have? Like, so do you have stocks that you can sell and help you to make that move comfortably? Do you have real estate? What assets do you have that can give you a financial runway to be okay? What transferable skills do you have? What is it that you can do? And I will say this time and time again. I don't care your age. I don't care your skill set. Everybody has something that they can package and sell. Everybody. I don't care what it is. A lot of times we don't do it because we don't get the encouragement to do so. We don't have the accountability to do so, or we fall victim to the fact that everything needs a business plan and all need to be dotted and T's need to be crossed, which is BS. And so I highly, highly recommend that you look into whatever that skill set is. And I'll say from the basics to um, baking cakes, and when I say basics, I'm just saying that that doesn't require a lot of startup costs, right? It doesn't require you going out and buying a whole bunch of computers and needing a whole support team to help you. But it can be something as simple as baking cakes. It could be something as, listen, the way people are going to need, and when I say people, I primarily mean us, tutors, home, not licensed home health care professionals, but people who are caring professionals that can help the elder population who's at home. There's so many, this video is not about going through the list. I think I've done that and I will do it, again. But find out what your transferable skills are. If you're somebody who's good at coaching and speaking and all of that, see, figure out what that looks like. Um, Yeah, and how flexible is your career or your job? I think right now flexibility is a crock of BS. I don't think that when it comes to Black women, we are going to be prioritized in those areas. I don't think as Black people, we're going to get the same treatment to be able to move abroad in the same numbers that we were in the past. So it's totally up to you to decide what it is, you know, you want to do when it comes to career. But if you choose to relocate abroad with a job, you got to have a plan on if that job calls you one day and says, you know what, this will be your last week. We could help you get back home, and maybe not, but you have to have a plan B. I would hate for anyone to go out all willy nilly with no plan B. And again, understanding that, why do I keep saying again? But understanding that so many countries, the affordability factor is in your favor. I want us to definitely do your due diligence. Again, almost 2 years ago now, we broke down, and I've done it a couple times since then, which countries may be, best for you, especially if you're single or if you're with children, have children, which one has communities that are thriving with families that look like us, that support us. And that's something that I think I may need to revisit again, or I'll just repost clips. I haven't decided. But here's the question that you need to ask yourself, and then decide, what's next. But from a financial standpoint, you need to do that here as well. Do you know, oh goodness, $75 is how much it costs to fill up um, my car at BJ's today. $75. 75. Yeah. And I'm sure I'm preaching to the choir. Many of you know this, that, these prices are not, unfortunately, going to go down as quick as some people think they will. Now, let's go to number 5. We're halfway there. I'm going to try to get through quicker. So, what is your desire? What is the root of your desire? Number 5, you need to ask yourself, what is the actual root of your desire? And why is that important? A proactive move towards a better life is usually more sustainable and fulfilling than reactive flight driven purely by frustration, right? So you need to literally dig deep and make sure that you're not just making moves because you're frustrated. Because I started out saying we are in some frustrating times. And if you continue to listen to every word that is coming out of that man's mouth, and the administration, the frustration, I need to look something up. I want to share something, but I forgot I looked this up a couple weeks ago. Um, I was in another community and we were talking about, and I'm not going to look it up for the sake of time right now. I may come back to it later, but just know that there has not been a day that has gone by in the past 8 years, 9 years that that man's face has not been on TV. Where is that normal? Why is this happening? Understanding all of the hateful rhetoric, why is it being tolerated? There's a strategy behind everything they're doing. That none of this is, again, happenstance. So you really need to check your level of frustration and make sure that you're not running. And this is going to come in a little bit later, but the question is, let me just give you the question. This is the actual question that you need to ask yourself before you decide what would be next for you. And I'm gonna put it in the chat. And I see you commenting luxury bucket list. I'm gonna get to you in a second. Let me just get through two more before I go back to the comments. So the question you need to ask yourself, am I moving towards a specific vision of peace, community, and opportunity abroad, or am I simply turning to run away from pain? And let me just give an example that for somebody who's been, spending a lot of time in Mexico since 2022, there is definitely a whole subset of us that have run away from pain. And they're the weirdest people. And when I say weird, let me be empathetic, child. Those are the people that you don't want to be in community with. They're toxic. And I don't even use the word toxic often. Like, I don't believe technically in toxic masculinity. You will never, not for our community. Now, you will hear me saying it for some other people, but I don't use the word toxic often. But what I notice, there are a lot of people that have thought they needed to flee, but they were fleeing for the wrong reasons. And it could have been from abusive relationships, it could have been from low finances. When you do that, you're not going to find happiness because you're not leaving for the right reasons, right? You didn't do a deep strategy or logistics to find out what you needed to do. What would be best in your best interest. You just saw somebody on social media, you saw they were living the life that you thought you wanted to live, and you were running from a situation. And there's a lot of people that talk about it on social media. So I highly encourage you to know exactly what you are doing and why you are doing it before you actually make that leap. So let's number 6 is talking about support systems. And I'll just do, let me do the question and the area of focus at the same time so it's easier for you to read. Okay. So, support system, you need to ask yourself, where is my strongest village? Will leaving sever vital community ties, or do I have the ability to build a supportive network elsewhere? And I say this with love. If you are someone who, especially if you're leaving, if your goal is to flee instead of fight, and you're doing it as a solo adventurer, a wanderluster, and all of that, but you are, what's the word? Because it's the opposite of what I am. If you are an introvert, if you are someone that refuses to talk to people, you don't like women, you think men are toxic, all of those things, and you are a loner, child, stay here. Stay here and you know, keep the blinds closed. I don't know what to tell you. You will be miserable, especially if you go to another country where English is not the native language. I have also come across many people that, as somebody who's as an emotional type, considered a rock with empath sprinklings of being an empath. I have been to places and I've seen or see people who want to be an expat but or are an expat or immigrant in another country, and they'll you know go to events and sit in a corner, not introducing themselves. And I get, like, not everybody is a extrovert, and not everybody finds it easy to talk to others. But if that is you and you're not willing to step outside of your comfort zone, you will be miserable. So, you need to know, if you left, would you sever all your ties here only to go someplace else and not develop a huge network or a decent network? But then when you come back here, will you be able to come back here? Would you have a house still? Would your network still be there? Like, these are all the things you really have to take into consideration before deciding if you are going to fight and or flee. And for those of you who are just joining, there is no right answer. I'm gonna tell you right now, if my mom was still around, I would be staying here and fighting. I would not be I would there's nothing that would have been able to get me to have left if my mom was still, you know, here. And she was unable to do so. So again, this is not judgment. Do what you have to do for yourself, but know before you make the decision, right? Know and have the conversations as well with the people that you need to have the conversations with. So that was number 6. Let me see what y'all are saying, and then I'll get through the last 3. Lickety split, lickety split, because I got to catch the last half of the game. So let me see what y'all are saying. Okay. My husband is white. Yeah, I think you told us that before. Notice anytime I pass a black person, we speak. He asked if I knew them. I say no. It's just the way things are. That's what I mean by, oh, okay, got it. And I will also, I love that here, right? And other places, but also be prepared for that not being the in every country, that not being the same everywhere. I know there's, especially if you're thinking about going to, and you're a African American woman, Black woman, you're thinking about going to South, countries in South America or um, Mexico or wherever. Not all the brothers, not all the brothers are as nice and accommodating, because they have their own they have their own goals and attend. And I'm not saying all. I'm just saying not. It's not as it's not a given that, and then people are running from things, and all of that icky stuff comes with them. And so, yeah, we used to really care. Yeah, we used to really care about that each other. Definitely don't see that anymore. Living in Guatemala. Oh, hey, I remember you. Welcome back. I'm 51. You left and you will never go back. You decided I didn't want to spend the rest of your life fighting. You want to relax. You want avocado coconut trees in your front yard, and you want a restaurant. Oh, congratulations. Wonderful. Listen, I feel you. I totally understand. And I'm so glad that you did that evaluation and that self-reflection on what your needs were and what your non-negotiables were. Everyone needs to do that. And for some people, they will realize that, you know what, I'm going to stay and fight. I'm going to stay and fight because of whatever reasons. We know the most obvious that tend to come up. But again, I just want everyone to be about that action. Please, please. Yeah, I didn't know he'd be this horrific. He's worse than advertised. And at warp speed, right? At warp speed. And it's going to get warpeder. It's going to get much more warpeder. Um By design, for sure. I'm very intentional because this is a reset, and most of us aren't meant to make it. Yeah. Most, and any of us, um, hey, Jackie's journey. Some of us won't make it. Hey, Jackie's journey. Jackie was out of here. Jackie, and let me just quickly say Jackie's journey. If you're not following her channel, please do. It's quite inspirational as it relates to what it's like living in Panama with your entire family, and that it's doable. And that, Jackie, I need to connect with you too, because actually there's someone in this community. I'm not sure if I sent the email, it's probably in my drafts, but I'm going to connect you two. So anyway, if I haven't already, and I don't think that I have, I think it's sitting in my drafts. This past week has been torturous. Let's just no. Let me be impeccable with my words. It's been busier than I expected it to be. So, but good to see you. Please follow Jackie's journey if you're interested in seeing what it's like to live in Panama, going from the city to a more subdued neighborhood, family focused neighborhood, and what that it's just it's so doable. It is doable. Family of 10, a whole family of 10 in less than a year, in months technically. And Jackie's one of our OGs from 2024. And so I remember when the passports were just arriving, for her to now, her and her husband and children and grandchildren, to now be thriving. Girl, let me just say, or boy, or everybody. You missed it. You missed it. You missed it. Um, yeah, that game was that the last 7 minutes were spectacular. Of course, your family and I, FL. Okay, let me get to the rest of, and then I'll get back to the comments because we're at 41 minutes and yeah, did I ask if they were miserable? Misery, I could tell misery, child. I didn't have to ask. I've been around enough enough people and hearing their stories later. Yeah. So again, please, whoever you are, don't come this if this channel and what I'm saying, don't if you don't rock with it, there's a gazillion, literally a gazillion other channels for you to rock with. This is not for me to justify my experience. So again, growing up, okay, I did say, okay, let me get back to the last. I think we went through number 6. I'm gonna do 7, 8, 9, 10 real quick. Watch me work. Watch. Okay, so number 7 is cultural alignment, and this is a big, 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 big one, because before you make any final decision, you need to know that no country is entirely free of prejudice, systematic issues. Mexico, we hear about, the locals having challenges with, the immigrants that are coming and increasing, or what they deem as drastically increasing the cost of their goods, services, lodging, all of that. So just know that you have to understand that there are challenges in every country, and you just need to properly prepare and know what they look like, how to adjust, and how to be respectful before making the final decision on, one, if you want to go, and two, where you want to go. So let's talk. Let me put in the comments section the cultural alignment. Did it not? It didn't paste. Give me 1 second. And do me a favor while I'm copying and pasting. Please make sure you hit that like button. If you are not a member of the Gym Nation family, hit the subscribe button. Oh, and one of the things I wanted to share, I think I keep forgetting these things, but because my birthday is in a few days, many of you know that I'm having the Monetize Your Maturity second masterclass on May 30th for a hugely discounted price, and you can read more about it. But if that's for anybody who's looking, as we talked about in the beginning, getting your finances together, anybody who's interested in one, doing an assessment, and not only doing an assessment, but figuring out within 28 days how you're going to turn the answers to that assessment into some income. And that link is in my post, in my community post. But if you're looking to specifically for Mexico, if you're looking to figure out a strategy on getting residency ASAP, um, then my consultations will cover that. And those are also on sale for half price, a little more than half price off. And that link is in the description. And those prices are going to be discounted through Memorial Day, May 25th, which covers my birthday. So that's the birthday special. Again, I am an accountability mentor. I've been doing this for a very long time. And for anyone, especially if you're new and you need help, this is exactly your time to invest. And the monetize your monetize your maturity. I'll tell you the price, so you don't have to. If it's not in your budget, then you don't have to search anymore. But it's $111.11. 11111, which is discounted. So, oh, thank you for the happy birthday. I'm trying to read. Okay, so cultural alignment. I'm gonna get to the rest of the comments after we get through 10. So I'm going to cultural alignment. And the question is, have I thoroughly researched the socio-political climate, racial dynamics, and cultural norms of my target destination to ensure it aligns with my values? Please, 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 because you saw Janet on TikTok talking about she found a man in a certain country and how much fun she had. Please don't buy a ticket and move there without making sure that the political climate, a lot of these countries, some people don't mind being submissive as a woman. And then there's others that will call, certain countries every name of the book because it's still a patriarchal society. So again, definitely do your research. Make sure you know the racial dynamics, see what the crime rate is. A lot of these videos still live on the Kim with the Gems channel. Some of them, are from 2025, earlier 2025, late 2024. So may need some tweaking or updating, but do your due diligence. Ask yourself your question. These are the questions that you need to have jotted down. So as you're doing your research, you know what to research. Okay, going on to number 8. So a lot of times, and this is, this word is subjective. So a lot of times, people are like, I want to win. I want, at the end of the day, I just want to win in life. I just want to win. But you don't know what that looks like. You haven't really broken down exactly what that looks like. You haven't said like 5 years from now, this is where I need to be or what I need to do. Like if I decide to stay in this country, what do I expect that to look like 5 years from now? Understanding all of the changes that are going on. Does it look like I want to have a homestead? I want to grow chickens. I want to grow my own food. I want all of my family to be in a community with all, other families where we depend on each other versus depending on a system. Does winning look like I'm living in Switzerland? you know, and dealing with everything that comes with living in one of the most expensive countries in the world? Or is it I want to live in Guatemala, Guatemala, oh my gosh, Guatemala. Thank you. I'm trying to mix up two countries. I mean, I was trying to mix up Guadalajara and Guatemala, but Guatemala, and have coconut trees or coconuts, growing in your front lawn, like we heard a little while ago. So, what does winning look like for you? What does a successful life look like to you in 5 years? Is it defined by systematic victories that you helped win? or by personal peace and freedom that you achieved? And everyone's going to have a different answer. And there is no right or wrong answer. There are freedom fighters, and freedom fighters would probably choose. Oh, child, copy number 7 again. Give me a second. Freedom fighters would choose staying here and fighting, while others would choose peace. And maybe you can do both, and you can do a combination of both. If you move someplace else, but you financially are able to support organizations and causes that are freedom fighting here. I mean, it's not a one size fits all. So you need a personal definition of winning. I need to copy the question and the strategy. And then we're going to get to 9 and then 10 right now. Oh, we'll be done in 5 minutes, y'all. So if you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the comments section before we um I didn't want to turn on the TV, but I need to see what the score is. Yeah. So okay. Is it halftime? It might be halftime. Okay, so let me go to number. Did I put number 8? Yep, so you have number 8 there. Let me go to number 9. I'm going to put that in the comments section as well. And number 9 is the guilt check, the all important guilt check. These are all temperature checks. Now, number 10, you're going to want to stay for number 10 because number 10 is a big one. And I kind of talked about it as it relates to me personally earlier when we first started this live. But the guilt check. You are allowed to choose your own journey and peace without feeling like you are abandoning your community. You really are. Don't let nobody sit there and tell you you better we built this, we're owed reparations, you're a coward, you're the ancestors, blah blah blah. Like, don't let anyone try to brainwash you into what's right and what's wrong for your life. Don't be guilted into. Now I will say the biggest guilt factor could be parental, right? Like, especially if you have a good relationship with your parents. Now, if you don't, that's different. But if you have a good relationship with your parents, that's a hard one to overcome. So I don't want to, that's what I'm saying. None of this is right. None of this is wrong. You have to decide for yourself. And the answers may not be easy, and the answers don't have to be permanent. So it could be for right now type situation, right? It may not be um a forever situation. So ask yourself, am I staying out of a sense of guilt or obligation to the struggle? And is that guilt overshadowing my own happiness? And this should be and or family obligations. Thought I put this here. So I just added the guilt check that everyone should do before they decide exactly if they're going to fight or flee. And then number 10, let's get to number 10, and then we'll get into any questions and then closing out. So number 10 is the reversibility factor, y'all. It does not, things don't have to be permanent, but you should plan for that, right? It matters if you are framing your choice as a test, an experiment or something permanent. If you're thinking like, "Oh, this is irreversible," if you're going in with the mindset that this is irreversible, that's the wrong mindset to go in. You need to be nimble, you need to be flexible. You don't have to consider yourself a failure if things don't work out. Either way, if you decide to fight and or you decide to flee, you don't have to consider yourself a failure. So, this is the number 10. So, if you choose to leave for 1 to 2 years as a trial period, what's the worst case scenario? And can you easily pivot back if it's not the right fit? The reversibility factor is what keeps people stuck from ever making a move or not evaluating the reversibility factor is what tends to keep people stuck without making a move, because people think that you can't change your mind. Let me share this. And you absolutely can. If you end up moving to Switzerland and you find out, you know what, I never really did like this cold weather. I've been here for a year and a half and it's much colder than I thought it would be. My mental is not right. You can pick someplace else with the right preparation, with the right research, with the right action. You can pick someplace else. Like there's nothing set in stone. So again, this hopefully, let me just see where you guys are. Okay. Growing up, stereotypes about Black folks were are all look alike, and we're all family. If you fight one of us, you fight us all. Now the talk is we hate on each other and hate each other. I will tell you, listen, I think it's a little bit of, oh, it's the third quarter already. Oh my gosh. I think it's a little bit of both. I think that depending on where you live, I think depending on your age bracket, there's a little bit of all of that. There's still communities, if you find them, if you seek them out, where yeah, we go hard in the paint for each other. And then that jealousy, then that misery, then that crabs in a barrel, all of that can also start to rear its ugly head. And also how you were raised, like your family dynamic will have play a huge part in how you align with other people, how you support other people. Like I come from a mom who was a social worker, I think from birth. There was not a person that if you didn't, everybody used to say, if you didn't like my mother, the problem was you. That was easy breezy. Like, so again, I think your social dynamic, or the how you were reared and what you experienced growing up can also play a part in how you are with community building, sustaining all of those things. Like I'm still in my mom's hometown. Like I didn't grow up here. I still have family here. I check on every year. Like I try to educate, my family and friends while I'm here. Like it depends upon you also. Um, let me see. It's the goal. I'm trying to read your name, so I'm sorry who ain't. I don't know what that says. My bad. Blessings, when you discuss staying and fighting, what exactly would that look like when they have power to reverse, revoke, rewrite? It could look like a lot of things. I gave one example, right? Building your own communities. Um, yeah, I said everybody's not gonna make it, right? And I don't mean it in the sense that that could look different, right? That could look so many different ways. There are people that are going to have to succumb to being dependent on what they offer, the pennies, the offer, I mean, the pennies on the dollar that they offer, and then we're more subservient. There's unfortunately going to be a lot of our young folks that will end up in the prison system as free labor. I mean, so again, what does it mean to stay and fight? There's a whole lot of ways. There's multiple communities. There's multiple activists that aren't as loud on social media, and if you follow them, you can find ways to what that looks like and how to start prepping and planning. But yeah, you definitely have to start thinking about those people that you would want to be in community with, that knows how to. It doesn't necessarily mean fight like we're going to fight today and things are going to change next year, right? You're just going to make things more difficult and slow down certain processes while you're building your own. So again, um, yeah, Jackie says there's definitely problems everywhere. We just need to be flexible and patient with the country we move to and ourselves. Right. And that flexibility and patience comes with understanding and knowing before you get there that you're going to need flexibility and patience, and that no place is perfect. Right. And so, again, great class. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So glad you enjoyed, appreciated. Yes. And again, the Monetize Your Maturity Masterclass is on May 30th, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's $111.11 through May 25th. The price will go up after that, and the max people in the class will be 8 to 10. I said 10 before. I may cap it at 8. We'll see. Um, and then if you need a one-on-one consultation on everything from moving abroad to, has somebody holding you accountable for whatever your next move needs to be, that link is in the description. Living in Guatemala says, also as a foreigner, locals consider you rich. Yep, whether you are or not. Child, I'm in South Carolina, same thing. I'm a New Yorker, and locals here, like I'm a Yankee. That must mean I make uh Bill Gates money, and I hate to even use him as an example, but yes, they I think you would say they will try to charge you more. Yep, not all people are like that, but given the chance, most will try to take advantage of you. Yeah, I agree. As somebody who spent a whole lot of time since 2022 in Mexico, primarily Playa del Carmen and Guadalajara, you are absolutely right. They call it the gringo tax in Mexico. Yeah, you're right. Absolutely. Luxury buck is, I'm hoping Nvidia helps some of my AI plays come back to life. Yeah, Nvidia is a little bit down right now, but it's great time for entry. Nvidia, if Nvidia fails, the whole market fails. So, um, oh, thank you. Thank you. Gracias. Thank you, Luxury Bucket List. Gracias. I'm LJ. And learn some Spanish, learn your numbers first, how to ask the price, cuánto. Yes, yes, count your change, especially if you're going to a country that Spanish is the native language. Absolutely. 100% agree with you on that. 100%. And I will also say, don't, convenience has made us quite lazy at times. And, Google Translate is a nice additive, but nothing, what I've noticed in Mexico, even if you try, well, more so in certain circumstances, even if you try, meaning you may not conjugate the verb right, because what I also learned, the Spanish that I learned in school is not the same Spanish that is spoken in Mexico. One of my best friends growing up was Dominican. I cannot, the words or the phrases that she taught me don't, even from, good morning to good evening, there's a difference, there's a distinction. But if you try, they will appreciate it, and they will correct you now, but they will appreciate it, and you get more bees with honey than vinegar anytime of the, anytime is what I wanted to say. Thank you, Jackie's Journey. Gracias, mis amiga. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. But again, I didn't want to be here for a whole hour. It's 69 to 69, y'all. I call that 0 to 0. 7 minutes, 7.5 minutes left in the third quarter. If you are a NBA playoffs fan, the envy and jealousy among, yeah, ciao, 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 ciao. And social media can be one of the places that test your patience and test your commitment and dedication, because People will try you, but you have to have Godfidence, man. You have to have the Godfidence that we were created with to persevere and keep going. Absolutely. Um, Everybody's saying, "Yep, you are so right." Yes, 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 yes. You will be giving your life over. What? Yo, you will be giving your life over as a tribute. USA is in decline. So again, there's no right answer. There's no wrong answer. Every one of us do not, our community, only 40% of us have passports. And the laws that they are implementing to revoke passports are targeting us. So again, if you can't leave and you plan to stay and fight, what does that look like? Where does that look like? Are you in a place now where you are safe or feel safer? Like if you are in a community where you are the only African American, you may want to, go ask your neighbors. Like, listen, if something went down in this neighborhood, y'all got me? Or should I leave? Like you child, this is no longer like this is not optional anymore. It's a requirement to know exactly how safe you and your family are. They are okay, that's for another conversation for another day. I don't want to go there. No, you're right. They don't want us to win. They set up the game and rig the system. We can win as individuals, but as a collective won't win in this lifetime. So I feel you. I feel what you're saying. Words, I believe, I'm impeccable with my words. I'm a student of the four agreements. I can't co-sign it. I believe that we need to shift how we speak. I believe that we need to be very intentional with our words and very strategic with our planning. And I do think there's ways that we can win. It's just we need to stop paying attention to what Cardi B is doing. We need to stop paying attention to what Meg the Stallion is doing. We need to stop paying attention to all of these outside distractors and focus. Oh, you said the same in Ghana? I'm not sure. Yeah, but so Nvidia tends to spike after spring, or what is it? Like March, April, that's when they tend to spike. Then they all hot stocks cool off, right? Then they kind of rest for a minute. But yeah, they're too yeah, long on the Nvidia. I've been long, and I believe if you need money to move abroad and you have extra stocks, sell them and move abroad. I'm in the South, child. I am in the South. Okay. Oh, expat taxes everywhere, even in Europe to a degree. In less developed countries, you expect it will pay if it keeps me. You will. Oh, you expect it and will pay it if it keeps you safe. If you got it to pay, I'm with you. I'm with you. But I also think that if you do decide to move abroad and you move primarily to a touristy area, expect to pay a tourist tax. Now, if you have the option, and especially if you are more fluent in a foreign language, you can go outside of the touristy areas and move someplace where the tourist tax is not on everything, right? You may get charged the tourist tax on some things, but if you go to the local tienda, you're still paying the tienda prices, right? If you go to, certain things like this local, I don't know, clothing shop, mall, something like that, you're still going to pay, you won't pay the tourist tax. Sorry, I just need to respond to this text real quick and then we'll go on. This is your opinion. Of course, not right, 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 exactly. No, agree, agree. And not everybody is the longer that they wait, the less likely. Okay, thanks. Be safe. Okay. Um, the less likely they'll be able to have an option to do anything. First, they say if you don't like it here, leave. You leave and they get mad because they can't find anyone to work for pennies for them. Ciao. The hate is real. You're right. And yeah, yep. Focus, focus, focus. Yes. Yep. I'm in South Cac. South Cac. Um, Market have been trading sideways all week, waiting for Nvidia. Yeah. But yeah, 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 yeah. Girl lived in Manhattan and South Beach. You're used to tourist prices is better in other countries. Well, if you lived in South Beach and Manhattan, then yeah, everything's just too damn high. It just, it's just, I didn't think he'd do it as much. Yes, sick. Yeah, yeah, he did it more than a decade. More than a decade. The fact that we as a community are not paying attention to these orders, these laws, the amount of money that is going to Homeland Security and policing. Yeah, and I mentioned this on a video, the last live video maybe I did, or the one before that. We not paying attention, we not ready, and they know the distractions. They know exactly what they're doing. They know exactly how to distract us. And there's certain things I may go over my little list of things that they put in front of us. I don't think it's important for this conversation right now, so I'm not going to do that. But I may do another, like, just produce 10-minute video of all the things that they have released to distract us, that have kept us distracted. And I see it just with some of my social circles. Like, I ask them anything about a executive order, they don't have a clue. But let me ask them about some pop culture. Child, they will break it down to the very last compound. And so again, yeah, it's as somebody who worked in media, I understand exactly what they know about us as it relates to media. We are the highest consumers of nonsense. Talk about it. And that was a distraction. Like, the amount of, oh Lord Jesus, it will make my head spin. And I will come back, like, so this week, what's tomorrow? So tomorrow is Thursday. I do plan to come back tomorrow with the next list of things. I think I'm gonna do the final list of things that we need to focus on. I did the first 20. No, I did the first 8 of the highly most critical areas that we should be focusing on here in the US. I'm going to finish that out tomorrow. And then yeah, for the next few weeks we're going to ramp up some strategy conversations. Next week I know it's Memorial Day weekend, Memorial week, but I will schedule some time just to go over some things that I know. Like I said, I know a thing or two about a thing or two. I don't know everything, but I know people who know things, and some of the things that I know we're not ready for. So, and I'm not laughing because it could be okay, but the media is doing us dirty. They're not, our quote unquote heroes. Hero is not the right word, but the people that we used to lean on, from men of the cloth, these mega churches, to some of our, I don't want to call anybody out by name, but there's a lot of people that have been silenced, and these platforms are going to do more silencing. And so I'm going to, put out as much information as I can while I can, but I do know eventually it will definitely be either you start it and you know, heeded the warnings, which are obvious. This whole tax, you know, the settlement where he's giving reparations to the January, this is all designed to cause, incite, not cause, to incite anger, to incite us to go out and do things. Like, it's absolutely disgusting what's happening. So again, I'm going to see the last few comments. I thank you all. On the way out, go ahead, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions, if you're watching this later, please put them in the comment section and I will get back to them. I will get back to you as soon as possible. And if you're interested in the how to monetize your maturity, which is designed for people over 40 who don't think like, or it's, you know, don't think that you can make money or don't know how, or whatever your question is about generating extra income. I've had so many successful stories of people who did the work, right? I have to start there. And not only were they able to go from, oh, I don't have enough money in the bank account to get residency in Mexico or Thailand or to, not only do I have enough money in the in the bank account now to show that I can get residency, I am also, I have extra money so I can now move me and my family, or just me or whoever it is. Shout out to the people that are in here. There are quite a few people in here that are already abroad from some of the communities that many of them are part of as part of the Gym Nation extension. Shout out to the ones that, I have a couple that just renewed their residency in Mexico. One, I want to say 2 weeks ago, one is going in 2 weeks. So again, and then in December, there will be another scouting trip to Mexico. I did one in May of last year. I couldn't do it this year, but I didn't do it this year, May, but I'm doing it December, early December of 2025. There will be a scouting trip to Mexico. I will share more details about that soon. Oh, Shell, I saw your email. I have to email you back. The dates for that other event have changed, so I need to redo the flyer and do all that other stuff, but I'll let you know about that. But anyway, it's so good to see you back in the building, living in Guatemala. I am so happy things are still going great for you, and I'm so happy that you have jealous, and that's air quotes, jealous about your fresh fruit and foods in your front yard, probably in your backyards, at the tiendas, all of that. I'm so jealous. But it's so good to see everyone. Yes, he is printing money. Yep, absolutely. The jesters, court jesters. Yep. But we're, you know, the ones that are planning and being strategic, we're going to be all right. And I'm just going to leave it at that. But anyway, thanks for tuning in, everyone. I will be back tomorrow evening. I'm not sure what time yet, only because I have some running around to do, but it might be 9 o'clock again. Oh no, the Knicks play tomorrow. Sorry. It may be, or it'll be before the Knicks play. But I'll figure that out. But anyway, everybody have a good night and I'll talk to you soon. Don't forget, take notes for this. Please ask yourself these questions and then act accordingly. Please. I don't do this because of any other reason that then I want us to win. Whoever wants to win, I want us to win. And these are the only ways that we're going to win. Buenas noches. Hey, LB. Good to see you made it. Anyway, everybody have a good night and I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Oh, in the stream.